Right now at 4, a haze has swept up and down the East Coast, coating major cities in smoke and smog, just like you're seeing right now. This is a live look at New York City at this hour, and it is just getting worse and worse. It's almost completely covered with that orange smoke. New York specifically now has the worst air quality in the entire world, even above India and China. This is all from those Canadian wildfires happening to our north. And as we know, we're seeing the impacts here in the Charlotte area as well, with an air quality alert issued for much of the region today. No matter where you look all over the Queen City, there is some very noticeable smog making our air quality very poor. Meteorologist Elisa Raffa is in uptown Charlotte for us this afternoon. So Elisa, what's the latest on the conditions that we're seeing here in Charlotte?
I've seen some oranges show up on those air quality monitors. We're actually standing right in front of one here at in First Ward Park, and it's been showing some orange levels at least all day, saying it's at least unhealthy for sensitive people, but the warnings are for code red, saying it could be unhealthy for most everyone. I literally just got a text from my brother saying it's hard to stand outside for more than 5 minutes. They live up in New York City. And I want to take you to some drone video from Charlotte today where you've been able to see this haze just all day. Now this the drone again showing where we've got some of the haze, some of that smoke, and it is making it unhealthy for most people in the Charlotte area today. Now I've got some pictures I want to show you. This was posted by the National Weather Service in Binghamton. That's in central New York, and you can see that orange just I can't tell you how many videos and pictures I've seen, even from my family sending me pictures and videos from New York. Basically what's happening, let's take a look at the headlines. This is the first time that Charlotte has had a code red since November of 2016. It is very rare for us to see code red conditions here. And when we had that code red, we had fires and the Appalachian chain. This time around, we have fires in Canada. It's incredible how far away these fires are. They've been sparked early by extreme heat. It's already burned more acres than previous years for the entire season, so they already have a record start to their wildfire season, and the air quality is among the worst in the world in New York. So if we look at that map where you can see the near surface smoke, it is thick and red across a lot of the Charlotte area, which is why those air quality alerts continue through the day today and into tomorrow. You zoom it out and you can see that air quality just stemming from the northeast from those Canadian wildfires. I spoke to an air quality expert today that told me this is unprecedented for the Northeast.
This could go down as really the worst air quality episode in the Northeast history. Many cities are experiencing, like you pointed out, extremely low visibility due to high concentrations of particles from the smoke just being lofted into their airspace and unusually reaching the ground. So in other words, not just being above you, but people are actually breathing these particles in. So I'm concerned, from the health side about what the hospital admittances will look like over the next few days.
That was Dr. Brian Maggie, an air quality expert at UNC Charlotte, and he was saying it's so rare for the Carolinas to get that code red, especially when the fires are in Canada. Typically, those fires are in our backyard when we get that type of air quality here, which is really unprecedented up and down the East Coast, and we know that climate change is making wildfires more extreme, fueled more by more drought, and just this air quality, man, it has been one for the record books. For now, reporting live in Charlotte, meteorologist Elisa Raffa, Queen City News.
Yeah, definitely some thick air out there today. Elisa, thank you.
Code orange. Air quality alerts continue going into tomorrow as we continue to deal with Canadian wildfire smoke. I'm meteorologist and climate specialist Elisa Raffa, and I want to take you up into the skies. This is some earlier drone footage today looking at that haze that was just, rolling its way through Charlotte. We're going to talk to experts about this haze and just talk about where it's coming from and how bad it's been, and we'll do that coming up next. Queen City News, we'll be right back.
All right, now at 5:30, the sight, the smell, and even the taste of smoke overwhelming much of the East Coast right now. Canadian wildfires are causing some of the worst air quality in the world. And in the state of New York, it's really bad. And the smoke and the haze now stretching south, even covering some of the Carolinas. Code orange. Air quality alerts are now in effect for the entire area through tonight as the air continues to be really unhealthy.
Meteorologist and climate specialist Elisa Raffa is live at an air quality monitor in First Ward Park. Elisa, it's impossible not to notice that the haze is kind of hanging in the air. These conditions, though, are pretty rare for us, right?
Yes, very rare for us. You were able to see that sheen all day. This air quality monitor here in First Ward Park did at times show some of those orange levels, meaning that the air has been unhealthy, especially for sensitive groups. Now, I want to take you to some drone footage that we were able to get earlier of this haze. Now, we had a code red today for Charlotte, and it is very rare, not just for us to get a code red, but for us to get a code red for a fire that is 1,000 miles away. Just incredible to see how far this wildfire smoke is stretching. I want to take you to a picture that I saw this morning. I just thought it was remarkable. This is from the National Weather Service in Binghamton, New York, which is in central New York. The orange, the videos out of New York today, New York State, New York City, has been remarkable. Some of the headlines from this event: we had the first code red in Charlotte since November of 2016. And when we had that code red, it was from fires up the block in the Appalachian Trail. These fires, again, are in eastern Canada, and they were sparked early by extreme heat and extreme drought. They've already burned more acres than previous seasons, and their wildfire season has barely even started yet. And the air quality in New York has been among the worst in the world. There were ground stops at LaGuardia and Newark today. Taking a look at the air quality right now, again, it's improving in Charlotte, or at least areas to the north, because we have this front coming through. It's kind of sprinkling out here. But if you widen it up, you can see how severe that air quality is up in New York City. It is just remarkable. Now, how is this smoke traveling? I want to show you the jet stream. It's way upstairs in the atmosphere. It's our highway of winds, and that highway of winds is what usually picks up our storms, but it can also pick up smoke. And as it's picking up that smoke, it's dragging it down the East Coast, and experts tell me that this is one of the worst air quality outbreaks that the Northeast really has ever seen. We spoke to some experts here in Charlotte today about those climate implications. Here's Kirsten Miner with Clean Air NC.
We say, Air Action Day. It's not just a day. This is actually an ongoing event. Climate change is already happening, and we are living it and experience it. And unfortunately, I believe we will continue to experience these events if we don't begin to take actions to reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
Yeah, I mean, with more fuel in the atmosphere, we are finding that wildfires are getting more extreme, from more extreme drought conditions. They can last longer. I mean, they're starting at record early starts in eastern Canada, where they're not really that common. So just an unprecedented outbreak of air quality up and down the East Coast. Now, coming up tonight at 6, we're going to talk to Clean Air NC about what this means for health risks, especially for children and elderly. For now, reporting live in Uptown, meteorologist Elisa Raffa, Queen City News. Yeah, it's code orange conditions, Tara, too, going into tomorrow. That front bringing us some sprinkles, and that's helping ease some of these air quality conditions. Coming up next, we're going to talk about how unprecedented this air quality outbreak in the Northeast is, and we'll do that again coming up next.
Welcome back. An unreal sight to see. A thick haze is taking over much of the East Coast as wildfires burn in Canada. Video shows smoky skies in the Big Apple. Today, the city topped the list of the worst air quality in the world. The Yankees game set for tonight has been postponed, and the New York Liberty WNBA game has also been postponed.
Well, closer to home, we're also feeling the impacts of the Canadian wildfire season. Air quality alerts are also in effect in our area. Drone video taken over the Queen City. You can be able to see here the hazy Charlotte skies. Officials are asking everyone to limit their time outside if possible, because the air right now continues to be unhealthy as we are in code orange.
Meteorologist and climate specialist Elisa Raffa live at an air quality monitor in the First Ward Park. And Elisa, how can this impact someone's health?
It can, especially if you have some pre-existing lung or heart issues. It can really exacerbate things like asthma for poor air quality. Now, this monitor today was registering some of those orange levels, meaning it's unhealthy for sensitive groups. And we had that haze all day today, but I want to take you north. Look at this picture from Binghamton, New York. It's up in central New York, about 4 hours north of New York City. how orange it is. This is from the National Weather Service up there, and this is what most of New York State and New York Cities look like today. Let's take a look at some of the headlines from this event, because it really is unprecedented for most of the Northeast. In Charlotte, actually, this was the first code red that we had today since November of 2016. And what I find wild is when we had that code red, it was for fires in the Appalachian Trail not too far away. This time around, the fires are 1,000 miles away in Canada. These Canadian fires sparked by early extreme heat and drought. It's very early for their wildfire season, and they already burned more acres than they did last year. The air quality in New York, again, has been the worst in the world. Looking at the surface smoke right now, you can see it's improving from north to south. This front is trying to clean out the air for us, but zooming it out, you can see how severe it is in New York. I have family that live there, and they're telling me they can smell cigarettes. It's hard to be outside. It's hard to breathe. People are walking around with masks. That's how severe it is in the Northeast. And experts today told me that this will go down as one of their worst air quality outbreaks. Now, how is this happening? Look at the jet stream. You can see the path of winds is pulling that smoke down, and it's a stagnant pattern which will leave the Northeast with a lot of that smoke as we go through the next couple of days. So that's something that we'll need to keep watching out for. Now, we spoke to some experts here in Charlotte today about health impacts, and here is what Kirsten Meyer with Clean Air NC had to say about the health impacts to children.
Children are more susceptible on poor air quality days because children have underdeveloped lungs. Their lungs are still growing. Children actually breathe at a higher rate than adults. So when they're actually outside playing, because children normally want to go outside and play, they're actually breathing in faster pollutants that can threaten our health.
Yeah, so if you are in that, sensitive group, the air quality is still not perfect going into tomorrow. Officials say limit that time outside. Don't exercise outside. Maybe go to places like movies and malls. Keep those windows closed. Experts did tell me today, too, that this is only getting exacerbated by climate change as wildfires and extreme heat just continue to get worse. Tara, at least the good news, like I mentioned, this front bringing us sprinkles, but it is helping clear out some of that air quality.
Yes, I know, if only temporarily, because yes, tomorrow will be another code orange unhealthy day.